So now I have an outfit change, but unfortunately I lost some of the footage regarding my story. So I'm gonna finish off the story. So I left off talking about if I increase my calories too much, I'd be scared. So instead of increasing my calories, I just quit on Insanity completely. I quit Insanity and I was like, you know what? This is not really worth it. I'm just gonna stop. And I binged again. I guess my calorie restriction got to me and I was just thinking, forget about calories. I'm gonna eat whatever I want, and I binged out. I binged like crazy. I ate everything again, every day, everything vegetarian. I had went vegetarian back in spring break of 2014. So over that summer of 2014, I was still vegan. I mean vegetarian. Veganism came later, but before I get into that, before I went vegan, which was August 15th is when I officially went vegan, I was eating a lot of cheese, a lot of pasta. Well, not really bad. It wasn't the pasta was bad. It was the salt from the sauce and the cheese I was adding. I was adding a lot of Parmesan cheese. I didn't really care for eggs like that. It's just cheese, because you know cheese is actually scientifically addicting. But I was eating a lot of that stuff, just binging, eating everything, desserts. I even had a chocolate dipped cheesecake on the 4th of July. It was really good, but it didn't feel good in my system, to be honest. After all of that, finally, when I go back to school, I went vegan. And I went vegan August 15th, 2014. And after going vegan, I decided to change my lifestyle. I had been following a couple of YouTubers. I was following one YouTuber called My Natural Sisters, just three women who do more beauty, hair things, mostly towards African American women for natural hair. And one of them went vegan, and I was thinking, this is interesting, because previously I had considered being vegetarian, and I didn't really have a problem going vegan, especially since I remember back in 2012 I watched a video on animal cruelty and what animals go through, and it really disturbed me, especially since I consider myself a Buddhist, and what Buddha believes is everything is deserving of a life. So for me to eat meat that came from horrid conditions, even just eating meat at all, it was kind of a contradiction to my belief. At first I tried to go around and say, okay, maybe I'll just raise my own chicken when I'm older and just eat chicken. But then I was reconsidered. I was like, you know, I don't really want to kill a chicken. Like, I couldn't kill a chicken. So I just said, okay, I'm going to go vegan. Before I went vegan, I looked into a whole lot of videos. Two of the main people I looked in that though were Fully Raw Christina. Even though I didn't have plans on going fully raw, I liked the idea of fully raw eating. And I knew I was going to eat some meals fully raw. Not everything was going to be cooked. And I also looked into Freely the Banana Girl. She's very popular on YouTube, of course. But I follow her a lot. And I was really interested about her story. I saw a little bit of her story. Didn't know too much about her. But I saw some of her story and how she started out 40 pounds overweight. And she lost her weight through a high carb, low fat vegan diet. Where on the raw till 4 thing, it's a lifestyle that I was thinking perhaps I should choose. Because I like potatoes. I love rice. My family eats a lot of rice. I love potatoes, and I didn't really want to give that up. And I also like eating a lot of fruit. I love fruit, and my family never really had a lot of fruit in the house, so I wasn't used to eating that much fruit. But the idea of it was great to me because I love fruit. Once August 15th came along, I bought a whole lot of food, and I finally decided to go vegan. Now, a lot of people say the high carb, low fat vegan diet will make you fat and so on and so forth. And you know what? Here's my thoughts on it. I think it's bull. And I say this because I calorie restrict. And if you think about it, if you think of anorexics sometimes they go days without eating, or they'll just eat a very small amount. You see them in how much they eat. And almost every single recovering anorexic, what do? They get humongous. They get obese once they recover. And this is not because they're eating crap. Well, it could be, but it's not necessarily always because they're eating a lot of junk food or they're just eating a lot. Anorexics get this way is because if you slow down your metabolism, you will gain weight. There's no arguing against that. I know from experience, from only eating on average 1,200 calories a day, as soon as I started eating beyond that, I gained a lot of weight. This is because my metabolism was very slow because I was restricting my calories and I gained weight. But I'll talk more about that later. This video is more about my journey, and this YouTube channel I'm starting called The Broke Vegan is basically about me going vegan because I'm a college student, very low income, and I had to provide mostly for myself. And I don't have a lot of money to pay for expensive meals. I want to share my journey, share recipes, and how to be a low-income vegan. I get sick of people making excuses saying, oh, vegan is too expensive. Being vegan is a luxury. I think it's bull. Well, when I try to compare the cost of rice, beans, and potatoes to meat, and so on and so forth, people will be like, oh, you can't live off of that. How can you not live off? Some people in desert areas live off of one food item and they're still alive. You can live off of anything. Not necessarily mean it's healthy, but veganism is healthy and there's a lot of science behind this. I'm not going to discuss that in this video. This is about my journey, and I just hope that if you are in the same boat as me, someone who's at their peak weight being 230 pounds basically, and if you're anything like me and you want to lose weight and you're trying to get to your ideal weight or your lowest weight, that's what this channel is all about. I'm basically just sharing my journey as a high carb, low fat vegan. Not necessarily following any type of raw to a 4 starch solution, because the lifestyle I live, I can't stick to one thing, no matter, because I'm a low income. When you're low income, you have to improvise a lot of times because sometimes you cannot afford fresh produce. And I will admit, fresh produce is more expensive than something that you would have to cook, or starch-based foods. Not saying fresh produce is more expensive than meat, because it's not, but it is more expensive. So that's what this video is about. So let me just show myself. I kind of have large breasts, but whatever, everyone's in the family. You can see my stomach is kind of big, really big, kind of the understatement. My arms kind of fat, and I don't know, you probably can't see it on camera, but I have stretch marks on my arms. I don't like them. I have stretch marks in many places of my body. Some of them are so old you can't even really see them that well. You can see the jiggling in my arm, even worn this arm really bad. Big breasts, big stomach, hangover almost, like a hang belly almost. You can see my butt. I'm wearing dark pants, hard to see. Show my thigh. My thigh is kind of big. I'm just big all over. My calves aren't that big, so I don't feel the need to show. I'm the type where all my fat stops at my elbow and knees, because my hands aren't very big. But looking at my hands, you would not know I was fat. I just have big, thick hands, but they're not fat at all. They're kind of bony, but everything else is pretty big. My face is big too. You can just see it. I have a round face, but this is rounder than it usually is. But that's basically it. Hopefully, if you subscribe to my channel, if you subscribe to this channel, you can follow me on my journey. If you're like me, you're at your max weight that you've ever been, and you're new to the vegan, high carb, low fat lifestyle, you want to know some recipes or things to eat, what to do, why you should go vegan, all of those things, then hopefully I can help you. But that's it. Oh, and subscribe to my other channel where I do art. If you're interested in art, like painting, mostly, because that's all I really do is paint, and maybe sometimes drawing, subscribe to my channel and you can see tutorial videos and just regular videos. I also do computer art, like vectoring, and just go to the other channel.